What is up, guys? It is your boy Damnboy, back with another video. Today I am back with my first AQ40 video, more to come of course, and we are gonna have a look at my first raid. We are gonna see how I do, what do I do wrong, what do I do right. I'm gonna evaluate on my own performance and tell you what you shouldn't do and what you definitely can do. And the much anticipated question, do we actually need nature resistance on Huhuran? It sure didn't seem like it, but on the opposite, you definitely need it for Viscidus. Or maybe I have a little trick you can use. We'll get to that later. Anyways, before we get into it, as always, I stream on Twitch Wednesday, Thursday and Sunday from 7 to 11 p.m. plus 2 GMT. I also have a Discord if you have questions you want to ask there, but you're always welcome to join my Twitch stream and chat with me there. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into it. As you can see, the first tip here is do not hit these big trash mobs when they have the thorn aura up. I almost killed myself. I actually wasn't aware when we started the run that these thorns could actually kill me. So don't lose your will buffs on the first trash pack, or actually the second. And let's get into it. So for the first boss, the Prophet Skeram, one important part is to notice is you need to burn your intimidating shout, your AoE fear, straight away, just so you have it on cooldown, just in case you get mind controlled, so you don't fear your teammates. Besides that, you need to focus on interrupting the Arcane Explosion, which you just saw went out here. And other than that, kill the clones, kill the boss, win-win. Regarding cooldowns on this guy, if possible you want to cleave these down, of course. So you want to use your cooldowns when you can cleave a clone and the boss at the same time to get that extra damage and get that 99 powers. I was lucky enough to get my 99 powers of this boss, actually, our first one, so I was kind of happy with that. Anyway, that's this first boss. Very straightforward, no problem at all. Moving on, the trash before the Buck trio, the Buck family, whatever you want to call it. There is mobs called Vecnus Guardians, and these will be in the rest of the instance as well, trash mobs. When they die, they explode, so you get knocked back. You want to watch out for this. You want to have your back towards a wall, not like me here getting smashed all over the place, because you can actually die from fall damage. Later on I'm actually close to dying from it because I didn't put my back to the wall, so watch out for that so you don't lose your will buffs. As for the strats here on the Buck trio, we are killing Lord Kree first. You want to make sure to be always in Berserker stance, of course, and have your Berserker Rage ready to use when they fear. This is going to be happening during the entire fight. And that is pretty much it for the first guy we're killing, Lord Kree here. Next, we are killing Princess Yao, and she heals, as you can see here. Make sure you're ready to interrupt that to make the fight shorter and get a higher powers. And of course, to just in general smooth it out. The fight is pretty straightforward, just tank and spank more or less besides the heal, and the occasional fear every 30 seconds or so. You can use a sapper here in the end. I do not know if it counts towards Warcraft Log's powers yet, but I highly doubt it, since it does not count on a lot of Blackwing Lair fights. Like mentioned earlier, before Battleguard Sartura, you have more of these Vecnus Guardians. What we've found out is you stack up against the wall, all of you. I don't know why the healer's not doing it, the ranged guys, but this worked a lot better than just standing all over the room. And this was actually the place where I was close to dying from fall damage because I flew so goddamn high up in the air. Anyway, next boss is Battleguard Sartura. Battleguard Sartura has 3 ads that you can stun with Intercept, Hammer of Justice, Kidney Shot and all that. You of course want to use your Intercept at a good time here, so you're not running around like a madman like I am here. But that it is what it is. it might be a good thing to actually use Nifty Stopwatch for just this first phase when you're killing the ads, because you have a lot of running to do. And of course, remember minus speed, because that's going to get you quicker to your targets and nuke them. As for cooldowns, you want to use those when you have all 3 ads gathered together to do that extra damage. And when the boss whirlwinds, what you can do to get some more damage in on her is, instead of using Mighty Rage, you can use a limited invulnerability potion. So you don't take any damage while it's up for those 5-6 seconds. And you can get 6 seconds more of damage in on her while she's whirlwinding. Another tip you can do, if your healer's up for the task, you can pop Berserker Rage. And you can go in and get even extra rage when she is spinning. Besides that, she is pretty straightforward, I'd say. We had 3 people die, not too bad. The next boss after Battleguard Sartura is Fankriss The Unyielding. You can stand up here in this corner so you don't pull the ads behind you that spawn constantly. And Fankriss The Unyielding is a pretty straightforward boss. He spawns some ads once in a while. I honestly didn't bother much with them, but he is more or less a tank and spank boss, and with the exception that the tanks actually have to they get some reduced healing effects debuff, so they have to swap at 4 or 5 stacks or so. But besides that, it's just tank and spank. Use your cooldowns. Rather use them early than too late. I had a tendency of using them a little bit too late on most of the bosses. And a little tip is that the ads actually count towards Warcraft logs as well. I checked, so you can use a sapper when all the mobs are on the boss to get that extra DPS in. So the next boss is Viscidus. We sadly did not kill him here. We wiped on 2.5%. We had 21 sappers, but I don't think we all hit all the globs with our sappers. I think what we should do next time is we're going to gather on top of each other, and we're going to use the sapper in the center of where the globs collide, and hopefully we'll get it down. But another tip here is, a guildie of mine told me on Discord earlier that if you jump before the volley hits, just keep jumping, you actually can miss the poison bolt volley. So as you can see here, the picture from Warcraft logs, this is a fight, a kill by Viscidus from a guild I don't know. They've dispelled 20 poison bolt volleys and they missed 95%. So Viscidus has missed 95% of all his poison bolt volleys because they've all been jumping. So that is my tip for you. Nature resistance gear, I personally just bought some extra myself, so I have like 195 just to help the healers, just in case it doesn't work for our next kill, hopefully. But you can't just jump, and of course remember to have 2 cold rage daggers with frost oil on them to get those extra frostball procs. And that is it. I hope you can use this tip, and let's move on to the next boss. So it's time for Mr. Huhuran. Actually, Mrs. Huhuran, my bad. I used 105 nature resistance here. I pre-popped a greater nature protection potion. I even tried the Baron's Trinket that summons 3 peasants. It didn't seem like it worked, but the boss was so easy that the nature resistance I had on was basically just a waste. I can't recommend it at all or anything. And next time, I'm definitely going to roll in full DPS gear. A thing to note though, what you can do to help your healers if you go without nature resistance, if there's any issues at all. It doesn't seem like it, and you can see on our raid UI up to the left, it's pretty chill. You can pre-pop your diamond flask with healing gear when you go in, and help the healers that way, just in case. But as you can see, as we get to 30% here, let's have a look at the damage taken. She's going berserk now. Now she's going to be spamming these poison ball volleys. We pop wreck, we pop death wish, we pop everything. I actually popped it too late. We have 44 guys going low, but basically all in all, it wasn't a big deal for the healers. The next boss was Twin Embers. I've speeded this up to 4 times the speed because it was a long fight, a boring fight as a warrior. The only thing you really gotta remember doing here to get more damage on the boss is use your intercept when you go back and forth between the bosses when they teleport. And that is pretty much it. Time your cooldowns properly and make sure to use them, better to use them earlier than too late, so you don't have like 10 seconds left of your death wish in the end, you know. Something I'm gonna do next time we kill Twin Emps is I'm gonna hit the ads that are not attacking you, but you can hit them to get some extra rage while you run back and forth, so you have lots of rage to pump on the boss when you get to him. Meanwhile you run back and forth. This is a great way to get more rage, aka more DPS. Another thing to note, our warlocks had 260 and 270 resistance here. We did have some guilds on our server that had some issues with it. I haven't watched what they did wrong, but that is pretty much it. Tank and spank. Second last boss is Ouro. We actually had a little bit of trouble with this because we melees were getting close to the boss before the tank was actually there to tank it. So here you can see I'm just standing for around 10-15 seconds just to make sure they get a lot of threat, and then I slowly start DPSing. This is not a DPS race. You just need to focus on when the tanks are actually by the boss tanking him, because they do get sandblasted and get this knockback. So when that happens, just stay out till you can see the mark. If you mark the tank, that's the easiest way, and start DPSing when the tank is tanking it. Another thing, stay beneath both tanks, otherwise you will die. I did this myself. Other than that, tank and spank, and try to pump as much DPS as possible, but be careful you don't get aggro, because you will die more or less instantly. The final boss is Cthulhu. So what we did here, since we have a lot of melees, etc., is you split up all 8 groups into a circle here, as you can see, and you stack the melees. For instance, I stood with Moan, and we stood on the greens, 1 and 8. So what happens is when the eye starts spinning, the eye laser, you swap places with the people standing on 8. And when it spins again, you go back to your position on 1. The reason for this is because of the eye beam, which has a 10-yard range, and you want to do slash range 10 so you can see who is close to you, because it chains. And I actually died to this. But yeah, so it was our first couple of tries, so that shit happens. No stress. While Cthulhu does Dark Glare, or the laser that he's doing right now, you are moving over to your next position, which was the opposite of where we were standing before. Make sure to not get hit by the laser, you will die instantly, and always kill the tentacles that spawn near you quickly. The tiny ones you can interrupt so they don't do any damage, and just kill them quick. They do not have any HP. These guys have 2300 and the bigger ones has 1500, so they die super quick. Like mentioned, remember to have range 10 on so you don't get eye beamed like I just did. Shimari here on the left actually eye beamed my group, and my teammate Moan almost died as well. Luckily we had a druid, so I got combat rest, no stress. But super important to only have your teammate in the range of 10 yards. During phase 2, interrupt the eye tentacles or kill them quick. And remember, you can interrupt or you can even stun the giant tentacles right here. You can intercept them. Do that as much as possible to minimize the damage taken from these bad boys. And that is pretty much it for phase 2. You will be thrown underground as well, where you can you have to kill some tentacles as well to actually get the boss to the vulnerability phase where you can actually DPS him. I did not experience this through our tries, so I can't show you that, but it is pretty straightforward. Remember, you do get a ticking damage debuff when you go on the ground, and get out of there before you die. There's a little trampoline you jump onto, and you get blown up to the real floor we are on right now. Anyway, that's pretty much it for my AQ40 run. We did had a couple of wipes and stuff. It's pretty normal. People gotta get used to it. I hadn't done a full AQ40 before either myself. Another thing to note quickly here is you do not want to kill the tentacles underneath when there's adds up, like here. Really bad idea, because you want to focus your entire DPS on the boss, so you can skip extra phase 2s. If you have any questions or the like, please feel free to throw me a comment down below. A like and a sub would also be greatly appreciated if you're into this kind of warrior content. I do also stream on Twitch Wednesday, Thursday and Sunday from 7 PM till 11 PM +2 GMT, Denmark time. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a damn great day.